Hey guys, welcome to the Save Continue podcast, where every week we get together and talk about video games and video game related stuff. As always, I'm Shanae Howard, and with me is Ryan Robinson
Hello.
and Tommy Shelby.
Hello.
And what have y'all been playing this week?
Let me tell you something today. I have not been playing much this week.
That's
But
fair.
I did today download Black Mesa, which I guess finally left early access maybe like about a year ago. I don't know. And it's weird, right? Like, it kind of reminds me of the Resident Evil remake in that, like, it's a remake and it looks better, but they've changed some things around, right? Like, I don't know, I'm still pretty early in, but like the crowbar's in a different location, like crap like that, right? But like, it's weird to see a remake that took so long to come out that now it looks like it needs another remake, you know? But it's fun. I'm having fun with it.
Uh, have you been reading any good comic books?
I started reading Wonder Woman Dead Earth, which is pretty fucking rad.
I've heard some like really good things about a lot of Wonder Woman arcs. Normally, the times that I read her stuff is because she's in something else,
Yeah.
like Darkest Night or whatever. So, but like pretty good. You said it was pretty good.
Yeah, so it's a DC Black Label, and it's set
That's
in
for
the
cool
future.
kids.
It's set in the future, right? So
Uh-huh.
like the back is like, Wonder Woman was supposed to save man from itself. She failed, right? So it's like it's real fucking cool and dark and like yeah, it's just fucking awesome. And I love that like they don't make her like I get the whole like Themyscira is supposed to be a fucking paradise, right? And people are supposed to be gorgeous there, but like she's an Amazon and they fucking make her look enormous and scary and like she's not all pretty, you know? It's really cool.
uh, I know there's like been some stories where I read like where like the women in Themyscira are not like always like super pretty. Like sometimes they have them like I don't know. I don't want to say like harpy, but like I know for a while they like try to change the backstory to like the way that they got more Themyscirans is by like raping men and then like having the babies, and if they had like men babies they would just kill it. But then I think they might retconned it again where it's back to the original where when they die they're basically just reborn. There's no like they're essentially
Hmm.
immortal.
Yeah. Well,
I
not
don't know.
here. In this one they're mutated.
Mm.
But I mean, is their soul like going back into a body or are they raping men?
Well, I've never read that they were raping men. I've read that they would leave to conceive
She
and then come
leaves.
back. But the raping men is new to me.
Yeah. I don't think I want to read that book.
I mean, I don't know. The things that I was reading, or like it was kind of referenced. I don't really know necessarily like how like fine details it went down, but it definitely seemed like having sex with and they're presenting a bunch of lies, like this is an actual relationship or something like that. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
coercing men, but whatever you want to say
Yeah.
it.
Death by snoo snoo.
Mm.
Yeah, all that.
Hmm.
But what have you been playing, Ryan?
Well, still playing Persona 5 Royal. I romanced the one that I wanted to romance. I also romanced someone
Who'd
that
you
I didn't want
romance?
to romance. Huh?
Who'd you romance?
Makoto.
Yeah.
Um,
Makoto.
yeah, she's a good woman. Um, she's got a good sense of justice. She's also very
That's
good at Aikido, so that comes in useful as a phantom thief. I also ended up having to romance the doctor lady. Okay,
Look at that.
I see her, Tom.
okay.
Is that a Batman on her belt?
Yeah, that's Batman's belt because Batman's dead.
Oh, that's a trophy or what?
Well, no, she didn't kill him,
Memento.
but she needed the belt.
Oh, sure. It's got gadgets in it and
She
whatnot.
she did kill Clark though.
Well, I mean, sometimes
It
Clark
was
needs
probably
killing.
necessary.
You know, I think that every time that Clark has been killed, he needed killing, so it'll be fine. But yeah, I ended up having to romance the doctor lady because the guide that I'm following operated with the assumption that you did romance her, and it said that I could finish her confidant later on, but I felt I didn't trust myself to remember to do that. So I kind of just went with whatever the guide said and did my thing. I
would romance that doctor.
I mean, she's an adult and I am a child, Thomas. So.
Sure, and she's a bad doctor, but still.
I mean, she's a fine doctor in what she does. I mean, legally, probably not, but she is introduced as punk rock woman, and then you later find out she's punk rock doctor, and
Yeah.
I'd romance that.
Sure.
I think that's a song.
Punk rock doctor.
Yeah.
Uh,
Y'all ever hear that, did he?
Yeah. I was gonna try to make up a punk rock doctor song, but I'm really not gonna bother
my
with
head
it.
is yakety sax, and that's not punk rock doctor.
No, it's not. Also, let's see. What else have I been playing? Hold on. I have actually a thing, because I wanted to make sure that I covered it this week, because there are times when I don't cover the games that I've been playing, and I get a little annoyed with myself about it. I got to play Borderlands 3 with a friend of mine. I've never played with another person before, and that was a really good time. I got to actually play my character as a sniper for once, and you could do that at single player, but it's a lot easier when they're paying attention It's a lot easier when they're paying attention to someone else, basically.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. I played a little bit of Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Hell yeah. You get that chainsaw fight?
No, I didn't.
Ring.
I'm not even to the point where I stopped when you and I were playing it, Tom. I'm not there
so
yet.
you're still running from Daddy?
I'm not actually. I just began the escape from Dad.
Now Daddy's running from him.
So I'm just after the part where I had to stab my wife to death.
Oh yeah. So you're super early.
Yeah. So,
have you hit him with the car yet?
No, not yet. Okay. But I remember that part because
What game is this again?
it's called Resident Evil 7.
Biohazard.
I mean,
Okay.
all right.
Play it. So hearing these things without context is really funny.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Well,
Stab my wife, hit Dad with the car.
he's not my real dad. That's important to establish. He's not my real dad.
Does the chainsaw fight actually just go in
Yeah, Andy Bernard.
Chainsaws.
Yeah, Andy Bernard is there, clashing chainsaws with you.
Nard dog?
Yeah, the whole Nard dog. Riddick. Okay, so.
God damn it.
So I actually okay, so I played this game called The Sinking City. Heard of it?
I've heard of it, but I don't really know about it.
Okay, so like every game that has tentacles and crazy people in it, it advertises itself as H.P. Lovecraft inspired. So I had heard about this game being talked about on a previous, I shouldn't say a different podcast. And one of the things that they talked about was there's a disclaimer at the beginning of the game that highlights that, excuse me, that the story takes place in a period of time in America where racism was more front-facing than it tends to be now. And with a little bit of that game that I have played, that seems to be very much a thing in the game. There's a lot of racism going on, but it's
I mean, that is Lovecraft inspired.
yeah, it is very Lovecraftian in that way, and like so, the racism so far seems to be revolved around. Okay, so in this fictional New England town, there is a race of ape people and a race of not the apes.
Not the ones I like.
No, not the ones you like, Tom.
More manpansy.
Actually, yeah. More
Okay.
more human than you might be used to.
All right.
And so it's the ape people hate the fish people, and it's really easy to look at the game and say yes, ape person and fish person very much would have been a euphemism for ethnicities that H.P. Lovecraft didn't like, but also there's stuff with the clan and shit like that. So I don't know, the detective aspect of the game I actually think is pretty well done, but it's made by the people who've made all those more recent Sherlock Holmes games.
Those are supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, so like the detective portions of the game are on point, but the game has also might have too much racism in it for me, so I might be checking out.
Let me ask you a question on that.
real-
Like, how do you feel about that kind of stuff when it's a period thing?
So here's okay.
Because,
So
like, you know me, right? Like, I don't want to play Shadow Warrior.
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
But, like, if I'm playing... Like, I was not offended that Kingdom Come Deliverance had only white people.
you're right. And okay, so I'm gonna preface
You know,
this by
because it
saying.
made sense for it to have only white people.
So I'm
But-
gonna preface this by saying that I would never presume to police anyone else's outrage. So if it doesn't bother you, then I'm not gonna demand that it does.
Yeah, no, I was just curious where you stood on it.
But on the other, so here's
it.
my feelings about racism in fiction. I think that racism in real life is there's a part of racism in real life that is learned behavior, and another part of racism in real life that is a choice. I think that racism in fiction is 100% a choice, and it is a choice that I typically prefer creators not make. So it's too much for me. So I'm not really vibing with it. So I decided I'm not gonna engage with it any further. But you know, I spent my money on it, so lesson learned. Then I also played a little bit of a very, very small amount of Maquette. And so far, I mean, what I'm understanding about this game is it's very much it seems to be telling the story of the relationship between these two people and kind of where it went, or like maybe it seems like it's because the relationship seems to, like, I'm seeing all these vignettes on the wall, of recollections between these two people, and it all seems to be all told in the past tense about that stuff. But so far I've with the little bit of the puzzles that I got to do, I find the whole manipulating the diorama to like make things in I guess real life like move around. I find that very engaging. I think it's very cool.
Well, it goes beyond that. Like, you'll get to a point where it's like small one, middle one, big one.
Yeah.
And then, like, towards the end of the game, you know, that's like the puzzle mechanic that the game teaches you.
Sure.
And towards the end of the game, it's like, here's a bunch of other random puzzle mechanics that we never taught you.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
You know.
Idiot.
I loved it.
So far I'm into it. I like the look of it. I think the music for the most part is very pleasant. So I just got to a part where I got a little model of a bridge, and I had to put it in a little diorama, and then the bridge appeared for me in my scale, I guess I would call it. And it was neat. It's neat to see that stuff, and like, or like when I pick something up and I drop it and then like the ground shakes because it's actually really heavy.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. And lastly, I played one round of Apex Legends with my wife and her friend, and that was it.
Were y'all Apex Predators in that game?
So,
Did y'all win?
I mean, no, we did not. But,
Oh.
it was a learning experience for all involved, I think.
This week I've also been playing Persona 5 Royal. And I'm in August now. I think so, yeah. I just beat Futaba's Palace, and so just kind of waiting, just like whittling down the clock on that, building up my confidence.
Yeah.
My confidence, not confidence.
Sure.
Or both.
Sure. I mean, the game requires both of you, honestly. So.
I mean, my guts is up there. It's dauntless now.
Yeah.
So can't fuck with me.
Sure.
So yeah, no, just been having a lot of fun with that. Right now, there's been like less changes in the game than I've seen like earlier. So right now, it's been kind of because I finished the Faith Confident because it's only like 5 or 6 that you need to do to max it out.
She's a new lady.
But yeah, I know that she later becomes a playable character. Oh, I mean, she has to later become one because I've seen her in like people saying it's a new playable character and have her picture on there.
Sure.
So I'm assuming at some point I will see her persona and show up.
You might.
But yeah, I've also still been like, even though I am, I messed up at the very beginning on that guide that you're using. I've still been like going through it and using it as much as I can. Like there's some things I'll just like swap around.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm just gonna max out this first, and then do all that. Like I finished Anne and a couple other confidants before it told me to.
So I'm at a point where it's still telling me to increase telling me to do things that increase different social stats, and by now I'm at the point where all my social stats are maxed. So you have more than enough time.
Oh yeah, I knew that when I played it the first time. So yeah, that's another reason why all this one I haven't been like too up on it. I just like maybe I didn't notice it in the first time I played it, and maybe it's because I didn't use a guide like I'm doing now. But like I just don't remember there being like the crossword puzzles, the questions on the TV, and all those other like small ways that build up knowledge.
Yeah.
Like I knew the answers in class, but I don't remember the rest of them.
I think the crossword puzzle, especially the thing on the TV, I think that would be really easy to miss because the game never like makes it a point to like point that out to you. I think the crossword puzzles are only noticeable because you see the magazine on the table and I think curiosity would guide you to it most times. But
I think I just thought it was part of the design, and I don't think I ever like try to go to it. But if it was in the first Persona, but I have been having like kind of moments when I play this game now where I'm just like, did I just miss all the times that they were super shitty in this game? Like a lot of the characters that I remember a lot more fondly. I'm like, you're kind of like awful.
Like who?
I know you texted me before, but I misunderstood. I thought you were talking about Yusuke.
Yusuke's my boy. I love him.
So I thought you were talking about him, but when you said that Mishima really fucking sucks.
Yeah, Mishima does suck.
And you're right. Mishima's so annoying.
Yeah.
I just fast forward to anything that he says. I don't give a shit. I could not care less.
He's a boy with a boner and an inferiority complex, and those two things often collide. So.
I feel like I remember like trying to encourage him and be like, "Oh, this scared baby. Like he just needs some confidence." But this time I read like the first like 4 or 5 times. I'm like, you're such a fucking little shit.
Yeah.
And you were just like trying to ride these Phantom Thieves coattails.
Sure.
But no one gives a shit about your life, nor do you do anything that important. Cool, you have a website up. I could just go on social media and find out bad things.
Wow.
So, like fuck off, Mishima.
You know what? I better not ever tell
Is it like the dirty?
No, it's not like the dirty. It's
Unfortunately.
actually, it would be funny because like I think that like if the dirty existed in the world of Persona 5, it would serve the same purpose as
Sure.
as the website in the game.
I mean, it would.
It's basically the dirty now that I think about it.
But so I didn't change the name of my Phantom Thieves like when I played the regular one, but this one I changed it to like a particular name, and I realized very quickly how often they don't use the name that you give. They keep calling them the Phantom Thieves
No, that's
in
just
most things.
that seems just to be for online stuff, but like the online stuff is like kind of negligible. So
It's
like,
the loading
Got it.
screen.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I don't
so,
get it.
don't give me the option if it's not gonna matter. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, my name in there is like my character name is Smelly Butts.
Oh.
So like I knew that like anytime like with most games like yeah they're not gonna say my name in there or but I mean I still enjoy saying Butt Coon or like being called Smelly.
Fallout 4 says your name in there,
Yeah.
as long as your name's pretty common.
Well, I don't know. There are some like really weird names in there, like some like Buttface and stuff like that. He'll say that stuff. So
But facade.
yeah.
Yeah, no. I feel like it's probably like one of those like those pencils with your names on there. Like Sinead's just never gonna be a part of that.
Sure.
And it's my life.
My son's name is also Bort.
I forgot about that. It's a deep cut.
But my sister recently also got back into Animal Crossing and deleted her island and is starting over. And so seeing her do that makes me want to get back into Animal Crossing, but I just do not have the time to commit to it like I used to. And I know.
Hey, let me tell you something, Janae. That my niece and my sister are both quite excited about. Friday at Target is Animal Crossing Sanrio cards.
You know what that is, Shanae?
So.
No.
You
I
know
have no idea.
Hello Kitty? You don't know what that is?
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about Hello Kitty.
So if you want to put some of those Keropis into your Animal Crossing.
Yeah, that's the frog, Shanae. He's cute. So.
Well.
Okay.
I think he wears a little
Okay.
sailor outfit. Like
You guys using that warp pipe?
the.
No?
So I got the warp pipe. I don't know. Last time I booted it up, which is like
Yeah.
over a month ago,
Yeah.
and I did the thing where I read online where somebody put one end inside their home so they can like do like quick changes and stuff. So I've been using it for that whenever I do get on.
Yeah,
I
my
haven't touched my
sister's been
island.
using it for fast travel, basically. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The
I don't
warp
know.
tour.
Like, there's so like I don't know. I just like I hit a wall with it, and now when I go like I don't want to get rid of my island because I have a lot of characters that I really like, and I've like collected a bunch of stuff. But also I just don't want to play my island anymore, and I think that like restarting it would probably get me back into it. But her last island, she did like a bunch of like vignettes of different books because she's a giant reader. So she had like a Three Musketeers area, like an Alice in Wonderland one. But so now when she restarted her island, she's calling it the library. And now with like Animal Crossing, you can do like cutouts, and you can like design them and stuff, like where your character will do it, like and take a picture. So she's like already working on designing some of the areas that she wants, and has like a bunch of cutouts for it.
Have you guys been to Denny's?
The restaurant, yes.
You know, you can do like the dreams and go to other people's stuff.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, you can go. There's this one that's Denny's, and it's hilarious because there's like, it looks like a pretty good Denny's, and it looks pretty fancy,
Yeah.
but like something is amiss, you know. And you go down in the basement of the Denny's, and there's like all sorts of tools, and bloody trash.
I need my tools.
Yeah,
I like to
What are you
bind and be
talking
bound.
about?
I'm talking about Animal Crossing.
Yeah, someone made a Denny's.
Okay. Oh, okay. I thought I was like, that's why I just said the restaurant. Yes. Like I've been to like I didn't. I thought yeah. I was like,
It's
okay.
when you go to the Dream Island thing.
Yeah, and
You
like
can go. The Denny's one is hilarious.
Yeah.
Just look for Denny's.
I don't know what you're talking about with Dream Island.
So Shanae, there's this
Really?
there's this lady in the game who I guess she's an aardvark or a snuffleupagus or something.
Yeah.
And she can basically
Also, the only person in Animal Crossing with boobs, which is really weird.
Oh, okay. Well,
they put her in the new
Yeah.
the New Horizons.
yeah.
Yeah.
So basically,
Yet again,
so she
I have not touched it. Yeah. I
so
haven't
she
touched it
so
a
you
lot,
talk to
obviously.
her and like people like everybody can like generate like a dream code for their island or whatever, and so you give her that code and she'll let you dream of going to that island. So
Yeah. And the island of choice is Denny's.
and so like there's like a bunch of lists online of people publish their dream codes so you could go see their island.
You didn't see Joe Biden's island back when he was campaigning?
I forgot to look at that, but
It's still there.
And anytime I've logged in, it's literally just to like clean up my island, say hi to my things, get guilt tripped by every villager about how little I visit, and then
Yeah.
it's essentially a visit to my mother. Like
Go see that big tittied aardvark.
Shanae, I figure if you want to start a new island, but you're worried about missing out on your other island, like all the stuff you collected, just start another profile and play on that one.
you can't.
It'll be the same island.
Oh,
It's connected to the Switch,
Yeah.
not the
Oh.
save data.
that's
Yeah, Animal
bullshit.
Crossing's always been that way.
That's bullshit. You should throw it
Been
out.
that way forever.
So it's been that way forever means it's not bullshit? Come on. It's bullshit. Shanae, get your money back. Can you get your money back?
How do you know about Dream Island Denny's, but not this?
Huh? I didn't know about Dream Island. Tom told me about Dream Island Denny's. I'm gonna go there and get my Grand Slam after this. But I didn't. But
You don't want
Look in the basement.
oh no,
you don't want the grilled cheese made out of cheese sticks.
gross.
That sounds delicious.
That sounds gross.
As someone who's lactose intolerant, I ate it. Not that bad.
That sounds well. That then for you that sounds like Diarrhea City. But
I wasn't in a lot of pain afterwards. But
Sure.
kind of worth it.
sure.
But yeah, no. But most of my time has been we started the process of trying to buy a home, and so that's been taking up most of my time. But if I'm not doing that, I've just been playing a lot of Persona. Like I normally am not this kind of way, but even at times right now when it's been slow during work, I'm like, I'm just gonna play Persona because it's not like I'm not gonna get timed out on anything, and since I know it so well, it's pretty easy to pick up and go back to it. And like, I don't know, I'm pretty comfortable like what's going on with the game, since it's just building up stuff until the timer of the days runs out. But speaking of comfort, though, this week we wanted to talk about games that we keep going back to. Or like comfort games.
Yeah, so this week I was thinking about how often I would return to games that I've played a million times before. Even when there are new games out, like new games that I've purchased, I still go back to these old games that I know and love, which makes me wonder why I buy the new games in the first place. But, I have a lot of games like that, surprisingly. Like, I was thinking about it, and there are a lot of games that I kind of just, like, cycle through just to play, even after buying new games.
What are we talking here? Like every couple years going back
Honestly,
to it? Or?
honestly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, when you return to a game, it's, whenever is the right time for you, dude. I would say if you return to the game more than twice at any period of time, which for me, that's a lot of games.
Yeah.
Um,
Same.
I've played Binary Domain like 5 times, and it keeps getting
I could never get into it.
It keeps getting better every fucking time.
You just want to shoot the robots.
And it's so great, dude. Look, that game came out in 2000. That game came out in 2012, and those robots flying apart is just as impressive in 2021.
It is. That is really cool.
as it was back
the
then.
voice commands, though, man.
Oh no,
Do it.
just play without that shit. But
Yeah.
the shooting the robots, and as they're coming at you, they keep coming at you after you shoot their legs off. They keep crawling at you, and that shit that's some Terminator 1 shit right there.
Yeah.
And also the story is fucking nuts. Like near the end of the game, this lady, she realizes that she's half robot biologically, and then it unlocks some latent powers within her, some robot powers that she didn't know she had. And it's
Oh yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
it's crazy. She's like, cause cause it's kind of like on TV when someone doesn't know that they've been poisoned until someone tells them that they have, and then all of a sudden the poison takes hold.
It's a lot easier to poison someone without them knowing.
Yeah.
Rather than like being a robot.
Yeah. Well, like they had this whole thing with the robots. They're like,
Program not to know.
well,
Sure.
no. Like, that's the beauty of it, Shanae. She was born a robot from a human lady. She had a robot dad, I think, and then she came out a robot. It's nuts. I guess
That's not how wombs work.
In the future.
In the future, when robots can make babies, it is. So,
I mean,
but yeah, that game is fucking dope.
is she growing every like screw and like bolt and
So
component into
they don't
her
really.
robot?
So that's the thing about it, right? Is that like, okay? So
Or
here's
did you birth the
here's
parts
here's the
and then,
thing.
like, tape them together.
Here's the thing, Shanae, is that most of the robots that you're shooting at in that game are very obviously robots. You can see, you can.
This is a fucking hardware store inside there, falling out.
You can see that they're robots, right? But then they get to this point where they're
She's got
talking.
fucking Radio Shack up there.
They get to this point.
Like, how spacious is this vagina?
So that's the thing, is that she came out like a. Okay, look, they get to the point where they're like, look, the robots can now impregnate human peoples, and that's where this girl came from. But don't anybody tell her. But then eventually she found out, and then she was like, oh shit, I'm a robot. Look how high I can jump all of a sudden, and it's nuts.
That's awesome.
It's really great.
I have so many questions that will never be answered about this scenario.
Look.
I mean, you can play it on
You can
Steam.
play it. It's one of Sega's
But
great gems.
Does this game though explain how a womb births a robot?
You gotta
Like,
play it.
How does it get made?
You gotta play it to find out.
Does the game explain it? Yes or no?
Okay, the game explains it only insofar as the robot man put his robot penis inside a human lady.
Why does he have a penis? Why can't it be as like? Why can't it?
It's
I
a
don't
So
know,
penis,
so they
Shanae.
can
like,
fit
And
in.
then when he comes, a bunch of nuts and bolts come out.
Yeah.
Is that what-
Where do you think, Sergey, where do you think the term "bust a nut" came from?
I mean,
Yeah.
does it just like come computer parts and
Yeah.
then like the baby
Yes.
just
Yeah.
like
Yes.
kind of gets
Yes.
wrapped around it?
Yes.
First, it comes a motherboard.
Because that's not
The
like how a
processor.
robot is made, and that's a
Well,
cyborg at that point.
Shanae, just because I know that you
Oh
have
my
no
God.
experience in the field of robotics, I'm gonna believe binary domain. Anyway,
Okay.
that game is
Yeah,
great.
Shanae was on
Is that what-
BattleBots Season 3, you know.
Yeah, sure.
That BattleBots never went into how women can birth robots. Never touched it in any of the seasons I watched.
It's on the bonus content of the DVD.
But only the DVD.
Look, man.
Uh,
Look, man. I'm just saying, binary domain is a cool fucking game that I have been playing. I played more than once in the decade since it's been out. It's great. I love it.
So when I think about games that I go back to, like, the first thing that pop into my head are like things that you guys have heard me talk about way too much, right? Tetris, Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Like, these are games I consistently
Shadow
go
of the
to
Colossus.
over the course of fucking, decades. I've gone back to those games.
Yeah.
But like, if it's other stuff, if it's stuff that like, every couple of years or whatever, then Alan Wake.
Oh,
I don't know how many times I've played Alan Wake.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
Billy Prince.
I don't know. Yeah, Billy Prince. I don't know. I really like it. And like, you know what? It's like, it's aging bad, right? Like,
Yeah.
it is not aging well. Just visually, and the poor product placement, and like there's a lot of things about it that are aging poorly. But
I
there's still something about it. There's nothing else like it. Like, what other game is like
I
that?
think that I think that game is very much preserved by its specific brand of camp.
Yeah,
And it
sure.
is evergreen and is always fun to engage with.
Yeah.
So I think
Well, that and like everyone compares it to Twin Peaks, and that's definitely like the closest comparison, right? But like when you're walking through the woods with your fucking flashlight out and you're wearing your stupid jacket,
Yeah.
you feel like you're fucking Fox Mulder, man, and it's
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game is really cool. I got irrationally angry with his wife, but
She is terrible. Scared of the dark.
yeah.
Shut up.
Say that's a very real fear for some people, Tom.
Yeah.
So she was scared of the dark. I mean, I don't know anybody who's that scared of the dark, but
Yeah.
But to be fair, like shadow monsters exist in this
But
fiction.
you also,
So
but
She
yeah,
was scared of the dark before the shadow monsters.
yeah, that's true.
I was like, I mean, she's an adult. I don't know many adults that are like that scared of the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
Maybe
yeah, it's
small
just
children.
super fun. It's super and even like take away all the other Remedy games, I still love it. On its own, I still love it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was looking at or thinking about games that like I've gone back to a lot, like one of the things I was, of course, like thinking about is why. And the reasons that like I found are either like similar stuff to like Persona 5 Royal, where I'm like, I know it's not the exact same game, it has some new stuff in it, but it is
Right.
essentially the same game. It's the same, like there's new mechanics and there's new like things added to it, but it's still the same game. And
Yeah.
it's always like somebody else is talking about it and excited about it, and I'm like, I remember that, and I want to play that again. Or comfort gaming, which I find like similar things to like using a guide on like these bigger games, is just that like I know what's gonna happen.
Right.
I don't have to think about it. I don't have to put a lot of like effort into it. Like I just want to play the game and feel good about it. Also, if it's a game that I'm just like good at and I'm like,
Yep.
this rarely happens. I just want to be good at a game and enjoy this. And I think games come back to obviously like Kingdom Hearts and I just blanked on another one. Oh, Oblivion. Oblivion is the one that first popped in my mind. I have replayed Oblivion so many times. Granted, most of it is because I got to a point, stopped playing, and I come back and I'm like, I don't even know where I'm at.
Yeah.
So I just restart it. But like even now, like thinking about it, I'm like, I want to replay that game again. And
Yeah.
I just that beginning part, I at one point had it memorized. And I don't know, I think there's also something to be said about like those giant adventures, like restarting it or playing it again with the knowledge that you have now of it, so you can like do things better
Uh-oh.
or even just like re-fall in love with it.
Yeah.
And I think Oblivion's one of the first Western RPGs that I really liked, and it was really accessible on all the platforms that I had that I've had like with it. I've had it on PC, I've had it on Xbox. So, I mean, I know we complain a lot about like or not we, but like in general, we as the U.S. Have complained about like Skyrim being on everything.
Yeah.
But there is something to be said about like, man, I want to play this game and I only have this. And having that opportunity to replay something that you fell in love with once somewhere else is just super fun to me.
It's funny you say that, right? Like, so many people have complained about how many ports of Skyrim there are, but then people also complain about game preservation and why isn't this game being ported?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some of it is just because of like how new Skyrim was, and then also just like that it was like advertised everywhere. I do forget, like I've been watching more things that have advertisements in them, like more live TV or streaming services that have ads on them. And I forget how much you do see the same thing over and over again. And even with barely watching TV or seeing advertisements, I did see a lot of Skyrim ones. But also, like, some of the ads about Skyrim were also joke about like it being on the fridge and stuff. So I mean, like they know it, and I think that's also just like with that particular one, just people like jumping in on the bandwagon of it. I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with it that it happened. It's not like it's taking resources somewhere else. And but another thing is just like it's just multiplayer. Like going back to Halo series. Granted, I only played Halo 3, but I've been like, going back to that. And I think that like Borderlands, I would love to go back. Borderlands 3, I probably won't play, but if somebody were to play it with me,
Let's
like
go.
from start to go, then
Let's go.
then I would do it.
That game was fun.
Yeah, that I can just get back to. Besides
Shanae, hold
that,
on. You're breaking up a
there's
little bit.
games that I play a lot.
Uh-oh. Shanae?
I've talked before about.
You're breaking up a little. You're breaking up a little
Yeah,
bit.
your image is frozen too.
Yeah. You want to reconnect?
Oh,
Oh.
there you are.
There you are. You're back.
I just started listening and hearing y'all.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's the last thing y'all heard.
The Borderlands thing.
Oh well, yeah. So multiplayer is another reason that I kind of like go back to games. But also my mobile games. I in a recent show talked about how when I watch stuff, I'm normally like playing a game or doing something else, and that's just because I want all of the stimuli all at once. So like things like Outlanders, Sailor Moon Drops, a lot of these that have like pretty simple mechanics, like on my phone, I will just keep going back and back and back to because it's something that like can keep my hands busy and where I can focus on something else. And I think that it's just more like it is a comfort, but it's just like a fidgety comfort.
Yeah. No, I get that. I mean, I think that's why like games like Street Fighter or Tetris appeal to me. It's
I watched
just
that.
comfort gaming,
Yeah.
Ryan, I got one that I actually just downloaded today because of you.
Hell yeah, dude. Here it comes. Let's do it.
Well, you and I have been talking recently about, getting excited for Back 4 Blood.
Yep.
And I don't know how many times I've downloaded Left 4 Dead 2 and gone back to that.
It's a fantastic fucking game.
And like it's so simple, right?
Yeah.
Like as far as first-person shooters goes, it's a simple game.
Yeah, very.
There's no leveling or anything like that.
Like they made the levels a little bit more. They have a little bit more to do in the second one, but overall, it's a very simple, straightforward thing.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, and it's not the prettiest thing today, you know. But like, there's just something so fun and simple about just going back to it and playing through a campaign, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And I enjoy it. I enjoy it obviously with people more, but like
Sure.
even solo, I have fun with it.
yeah, and that's the really interesting thing about Left 4 Dead to me is it is so very obviously like both games. It's so very obvious that it's a multiplayer first game. You know what I mean?
Right.
But just the fact that you can still have a good time, like playing with alongside AI, it's a really great. They're really great games, I think.
Yeah.
And I liked that. I think the thing I liked about Left 4 Dead 2 is how each campaign was part of like a larger
Story.
a larger story. And I thought that stuff was cool. But the simplicity and straightforwardness of Left 4 Dead is why I'm so perplexed as to why Valve didn't do Left 4 Dead 3, because I think that you give us more maps to shoot zombies in, maybe throw in a few more weapons in there, and it's fine.
Well, Valve can't count to 3, as we've learned.
Yeah, I guess.
That's a no word in there.
I mean, no Team Fortress 3, no Portal 3, no Half-Life
Well,
3.
I feel
Valve
like
can't do it.
They're like really. I think that Valve. Well, I think that one of the things that Valve gets really hung up on is trying to be. We're not going to make a game unless we can revolutionize the genre that game is in somehow, and I don't think that's always necessary.
I mean, I think it's smart though, right? Like, it's the fucking Disney Vault. It's so fucking dumb, but like that's what it is, right? Like, if Valve is ever, which I can't imagine them ever being in that position, but if Valve is ever in a position where like they need some money, boom, Portal 3, Left 4 Dead 3, Half-Life 3,
Yeah.
and they're gonna sell.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I do
But
remember think fondly on the times we got to play Left 4 Dead together, and how
On
awesome that
Xbox
was.
360.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
great.
and with Left 4 Dead, there's nothing on there that when I think about it that like I remember being annoyed with, like
Yeah.
like Dead Island, the lack of ammunition really was annoying. Some other zombie games, like maybe the traversal or the maps, or like what I was doing was like not that exciting, or anything like that. There's just something I mean, because of its simplicity, like there's just like it doesn't feel like annoying to go back to. There's nothing that makes me not want to go back to it besides the availability of the console and if I have people to play it or not.
Yeah,
Well, I do think it is that simplicity that like draws me back at least, because like
Yeah.
I really liked Killing Floor 2 when it first launched, and like they're very similar games, right? They're both wave based, only Left 4 Dead is point A to point B, and Killing Floor is an ever expanding map, right? No, that's Call of Duty. It's where the shop
Or-
drops,
Yeah.
right? Wherever the shop drops is
Yeah.
where you'll be going. And both are great. Killing Floor has way more systems, right? As far as leveling up, and you can even like to some extent have your own build. And I really enjoyed that in that game. But I still find myself going back to Left 4 Dead 2. And I think
Over
part of that is because like I don't have to worry about what level I'm at or anyone's at. We're all the same.
yeah.
Doesn't fucking matter.
Well,
I've got these however many campaigns from the first 2 games to play.
Yeah.
I've got Steam Workshop, so I can play some stupid fucking version of
Sure.
Left 4 Dead if I want to.
Sure.
You know.
And like,
Even like Dead Rising or like as well, like that if for like first person experience, like there's just like things with Dead Rising that like I just don't care for.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're super different type of game, though, right?
Well, I'm saying like we're going for zombies genre,
Yeah.
but, and also like and that's why I said like, and if you're doing Left 4 Dead like as a single person, I think that there is something to also be said. Like if you're like I want a zombie game I can play myself, I'd go
Yeah.
for Left 4 Dead over Dead Rising.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I also think that a lot to do like what you were talking about, Tom, with like how much you even with how much you like Killing Floor 2 going back to Left 4 Dead. I do think that for me my preference leans more toward Left 4 Dead only because like largely because like I like the personality of that game more. I like the
Sure, it's not as ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, it's still ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's not all fucking metal and
Yeah, so I think I vibe more with Left 4 Dead 2.
Sure.
And even like what's awesome is getting to go back to the maps of Left 4 Dead 1 and getting to play with all the shit from Left 4 Dead 2 in it, and it's just I just
And
think
it's
those are
such a
great games.
small thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
Left 4 Dead 2, for all intents and purposes, is an expansion.
Yeah.
You know? Doesn't really feel like a sequel, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Sorry, my brain broke for a second. Go ahead.
Another one that I think about a lot is Splinter Cell Conviction. And I have played through that game so many fucking times. And I think it's just because, like, I've always had, like, a thing. I've always thought it was really cool where the main character in, like, in an action adventure kind of story is kind of, like, an older guy, just because it's like it makes everything that he's doing like more badass to me for some reason. And like
Come on, old man.
and like, well, I mean,
It's
that's
like we talk about biking, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing.
yeah, like because Bikins is like badass middle-aged lady who's like still swings her sword all crazy and with her extendo claw and whatnot.
Is she a robot and doesn't know it?
No, she is all woman. But
Does she know it?
so what I think that like, so Tom, you remember going to see the Equalizer starring Denzel Washington and like all those cool scenes in that movie, and I think that like I enjoy Splinter Cell Conviction for like the same reasons I like that movie.
Sure.
it's just because it has like it's just all these like really cool, fast paced, like close quarters like combat sequences, like strung really close together. Um, and also like the whole
And there's definitely more action than previous Splinter Cell
yeah,
games.
because
you
like
know?
I do think that like while Splinter Cell Conviction is still very much a stealth game, like there is a lot of like action and there's more firefights and stuff like that. The one thing I never got around with stealth action games, specifically when it came to Splinter Cell Conviction and Metal Gear Solid 4, is they gave you all these like very loud weapons, but like the game like very much encourages you not to use weapons like that.
Yeah.
But like all the like the close range takedowns that Sam Fisher can do, like, and some of the cooler sequences that involve him interrogating people. Like there's this one scene like early on in the game where because he finds out that like his daughter might not actually be dead, and so like he starts interrogating people to find out information about it, and like he corners this guy in a bathroom and just starts like putting his head through like the sink and like
Oh yeah, I remember.
and
Yeah.
like and it's just really cool. And like I remember when the first time I finished that game, after I watched the ending, the last cutscene, I was like, I should do that again. And then I immediately played through the game again. It's just because that game is cool, and it's not that long,
You know what
but
always
it's
what
awesome.
sticks with me with Conviction is like it did the whole thing where like text would be in the environment,
That's such a cool
and it was
effect.
like one of the first games
Yeah.
or movie or whatever I saw that did that, and then like everybody started doing that
Yeah.
shit. But yeah,
Composers.
that's a good game. Also, like Blacklist as well is really good, which was the follow up.
So does that play close like Conviction?
Plays very similar to Conviction.
Okay,
yeah.
then I want it because Conviction is my favorite Splinter Cell game, like hands down. I
Yeah,
love that game.
Yeah, no, they're similar. But another game that I thought about though is Golden Sun. Anytime like I put batteries in like my Game Boy Color or like my Game Boy Advance or anything, and now that I like modded it, I've also been replaying Golden Sun like here and there, and that one's just nostalgia. Like I don't know, I just think it's one of the better games that I have. Like I've replayed like Yellow, Blue, and Red a bunch of times,
Yeah.
but like growing up and like on vacations and even like as an adult. But normally, and like I would say the last 10 years for sure, like if I boot it up or like kind of want to go and like have a nostalgia tour, I just go to Golden Sun. I think it's just really, I still think it's really well made for a handheld. Like,
Oh yeah, for sure.
like I'm glad on DS that I got a sequel. I even like the sequel, and I don't know, it just like it hits all those good like JRPG like plot points with the drama. I think the game is just solid, and I have it memorized at like in the back of my mind subconsciously enough where it's super fun. I know what I'm supposed to do, and I like the little Jin. I always forget like their names, or there's things about I do forget, and when I get reminded I just get happy. Like, but specifically the little Jin names. Like I think that they're super cute. I forget that they
Yeah.
always like. I always forget that they have their own personalities and like little design in that color sphere. And also like the moves look cool. Like,
Yeah.
even though they're dated graphics, they look fucking cool. Like there's the main
But it's
character-
not that dated though, right? Like that to me that 16-bit style still holds up. We get games in 2021 released that have basically the same graphics.
Exactly. But like there's like a move that the main character does called like a Ragnarok, and it's just a giant sword falls from the sky into the character and destroys all the ground, and you see like that little like black and white flashing as it like gets closer and destroys them. And that always feels cool. Like I think that the Golden Sun does a really good job with the weight of like the attacks in it, and it always feels like I'm doing something super badass.
Yeah. I do like you're saying, Shanae, like games that you're good at, right? Games that you can kind of just breeze through. And for me, that's probably Shadow of the Colossus. Like it is, I've talked about it on the show way too many times, but like it's fun to just be like sit down and like, okay, I'm gonna play this start to finish because I know it and I can do it quickly. I like that a lot. I can very much see this Resident Evil 3 remake becoming one of those games for me
Yeah.
because I can run through that game super fucking quick now too.
Yeah.
Uh,
You just blast your way. You just like blast every zombie that shows up.
I mean, I run past most of the stuff.
You gotta blast them, baby. That's what that gun is for. You gotta blast them, baby.
That's what I'm doing with Persona. Like I skip as many of them as I can.
You give me a gun, you're gonna get shot.
Not that Kingdom Hearts was ever a difficult game because it was made for babies, but I was a baby when it came out.
Yeah, but the first time you play it, you're gonna get lost at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
baby.
Like, even now, there's like times where if I go 100% it, then like I'll forget where or I'll get lost like in the first game more than the second game. Like specifically that Alice in Wonderland world, we have to go in the treetops and go through like the different doors to go to the different areas, and then do a platforming thing. And I'm not good at platforming.
Sure.
and then you gotta like hit these flowers in a certain order, and then like hit something with like a lightning bolt for this other thing to appear.
Yeah.
And I always forget like that thing. But like the general thing of it, like when I was a kid and you didn't have any games, like I would just try and speed run it.
Yeah.
So now that is like definitely one of them. Same with Golden Sun, obviously, is one of them. I was trying to stay off of it, but I'm back on Outlanders. I deleted all of my save data so I could redo it again. I don't know. There's like it's kind of like when I go through my day at work, I always try and get like at least a couple easy things done to build up momentum, and I feel like I do that sometimes with like games where I just like I want to build momentum to playing into something else, but also like I'm enjoying this, I get comfort, and I feel like I'm good at something.
Yeah.
You know what? So I've been talking to a lot of people about Final Fantasy 15 lately, and I really love that game because I've got a thing for stories that involve best friends. And I just love I love the relationship these guys have, and I love like listening to their banter, and I think the combat is easy as easy gets, but it's fun to watch, and when they do those team up attacks, that shit is rad. But like just like hanging out with these guys is just like it's really awesome, like even like that very first scene in the game, like the game opens with them pushing their car down the road and Stand By Me is playing, and like my heartstrings are getting pulled, and it's awesome. And like, to be able to return to that game, like, is like, especially like when I'm not feeling great, I'm just going to hang out with my boys for a little bit. I'm just going to hang out with my boys.
But you like good boys who just want to do
good
things.
And like, when that game first came out, I remember how much everybody like made fun. Not everybody, but a lot of people that I'd encountered were making fun of Prompto, not knowing what a good, loyal, awesome friend Prompto is. And people should I think honestly, Prompto deserves a written apology from everybody because he's a good boy.
So does Ryuji deserves an apology from Morgana.
Oh yeah, like you think I'm gonna let some fucking cat call me an idiot all the time in front of everybody else? Nah, fuck that.
Ryan, have you played the 7 remake yet?
No, I've only watched Kaylee play it.
Yeah,
but
Speaking of Final Fantasy,
I know that there's that new DLC. Is it DLC?
Yeah. I don't know exactly
what
it is, but yeah.
But so maybe I don't know. I've got a lot.
I just think like one of the high points of the remake for me is that like relationships are more fleshed out. You do get more time with the characters because it's a whole game about Midgar. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Speaking of Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy X-2 is probably one of the games that I have gone back to the most. But I think like it's because I feel like I have to defend it a lot, and I want to remind myself that it is a good game and I enjoy it.
I've heard that game is rad. I've heard a lot of good
Probably
things
for
about that
me.
game. No, I've heard like other people have. I've heard a lot of other people say that game is rad, and I want to actually try it.
Well, I've had a lot of people like I'm trying to avoid shit on it, but also like yeah, I just feel like I have to defend it, and I'm like also I just want to be like, yeah, people do play this. I'm playing this. But it's also, I think it's a good game. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
I think it's super fun. I compared to like some other Final Fantasy games, I feel like there's less to pay attention to in some aspects.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's enough in there where I do feel like I play it differently every time I do replay it.
Yeah. Is it better than 10? Would you say?
I didn't play a lot of 10, to be honest.
Hmm.
I personally had more fun with 10 too, but I never finished 10.
10 has a Catman in it, so you might be interested.
Is that Catman a fucking asshole like Morgana?
Hard to tell. He doesn't really talk much. So
Is he like Lion-O?
he's kind of like Lion-O, I guess.
Cool.
Yeah. Like
Is he more human or cat?
he's definitely more cat, but he walks on his hindquarters. So
No, seriously, isn't he like the part of the kitty cat people that's in 14?
I don't know. Maybe.
But
Are
but
they
yeah,
Thundercats?
no, they're not
Okay.
Thundercats. There's no Chitara or Lionel or any other ones.
Lionel.
Is
I'll say
it
Lionel.
is it okay? Is it Lion-O or Lionel? Because I've never actually known.
It's Lion-O.
It's Lion-O.
Lionel.
Yeah.
Because
Lionel.
I've been because since I was a kid, I've been saying Lion-O and Lionel like back just in case one of them is correct.
That's awesome.
I mean, cover your bases.
Yeah, sure.
For a long time I called Chitara just Cheetah.
I mean, she is a cheetah, so.
She's a
DJ
fucking
Hero.
cat, you fucking ass.
I don't know how many times I've gone back to DJ Hero over and over and over again.
just-
I love it.
that's because
I've
you
owned
wanna
4
be
of these
DJ.
fucking turntables, you know?
Yeah.
Like, since DJ Hero came out till now, I've owned 4 of these dumb fucking plastic turntables.
It's a really fun game. It's
so fun.
it's a fun
man.
game
And,
to-
like, the second one is not as good, but, like, it's still fun, you
yeah.
know?
I like the second one
Yeah.
a lot.
First one's better.
I think-
Better. But
I think it falls under a Tom-esque game where it's just very like it has something very unique to it. Like yes, there's
Yeah.
other music games and there's like Guitar Hero and stuff, but I never liked any of those. I liked DJ Hero.
I like
There's just
Guitar
some-
Hero as well, but
I
DJ
never
Hero,
enjoyed-
man.
Yeah.
I
Love
never
it.
enjoyed once playing Guitar Hero or Rock Band.
Yeah.
DJ Hero though, it's so good. It's like I agree. Like it's if I had one, I'd play it.
I'll give you one.
Listen.
I got
Yeah.
multiple copies of both of those games.
Sure.
And spare DJs. There's 3 people in your home. You got 4 of them. You don't need like.
No, I only have 2, but like I'm saying, like I have had 4, which is you only ever really need 1, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, DJ Hero, that's a
I
good
just
one
wanna
to go
see
back
Tom
to.
Trying to do 4 of them at the same time.
Yeah.
Like multiple Xboxes hooked up.
That would be dope.
Yeah,
I'd like that.
yeah.
Was there any other games that y'all had on your list or that you wanted to bring up?
I mean, honestly, I didn't make a list. I'm just thinking of them off the top of my head. But
Yeah.
like, these are games that I've gone back to a lot.
Yeah. I guess the last one that I would say is Doom 2016.
What? That's because it's a Ryan-ass game.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how true that is, but because I actually don't even know that I have a type. You know, I don't know that
Space exploration. Space exploration
Yeah.
is your type.
Okay.
Wait, is there a lot of space? Yeah, that's right.
I mean, there is the space of a type in Doom, but
But no, at this point, any like longtime listener knows like you love Doom.
Yeah.
You're down with some Doom.
Yeah, but
Doom is your homeboy.
So there are two things that keep me coming back to Doom. One, it's fucking rad, but also it's just like it's just a really cool game to like. You just because in that game you just never stop moving, and it's just like awesome to mow these demons down to like it's like. And it's funny, the funny thing about this music is I would never just hang out and listen to this music. like on its own, but in the context of that game, it's just so awesome. And I also love it when games like give you, I guess, for lack of a better term, an arcade mode or maybe a score attack mode. And I love like going through like levels and seeing how high I can get my score. And
Yeah, it gives you that nice dopamine hit.
yeah,
But
or like there's the permadeath mode in that game, and I like seeing how far I can make it before I finally eat it. But that's a game that's easy to pick up like immediately, just have fun with it.
Doom 2016, like I played through it. I really enjoyed my time with it, but I've only played it the once. Start to finish, only the one time.
Yeah.
The original Doom, I can't tell you how many times I've played that game.
Yeah. That game's rad too.
So, as somebody who has very, very limited experience with Doom and knows almost zero about the story, like, they ever talk about these demons? Like, are they actually like demons? Like,
Yeah.
Are they aliens from a planet? Like, what's the deal?
They're from hell.
Yeah.
Ah.
Basically, Satan is rad, but you still gotta kill him. So.
There's what is it, Phobos, right?
Yeah.
Where a portal to hell is opened up.
Yeah.
And that's Doom.
So like,
there's little bits of story here and there, like Doom guy has a pet bunny and like a bunch of dumb shit like that. But like, it's just an excuse to kill demons.
Yeah, they've kind of retconned it a bit to where like you're this mythical warrior who killed so many demons that they had to lock him up for killing too many demons. But
I just didn't know if they were like actual demons or like like aliens that people call demons. Like,
I mean,
what's their thing?
Whatever. If something comes from hell, you got to call it a demon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
I just didn't know if it was like actually from hell.
And then you
or, like,
go to hell.
A planet called hell.
Also, the new Doom games do insinuate that they are direct continuations of the old Doom games.
You go to hell. You take the fight to them, and they're still
Yeah.
fucking scared of you. They're locked in here with
Yeah,
you. You understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, give me back my face.
Jokes. But yeah, no, this is fun. It was fun thinking. I was like, what? I was like, I don't know, because like personally, obviously, I play like normally the one game forever, and there are some games I will go back to when they like stuff is added or like a new version of it is like I've gone back to like Fire Emblem Three Houses, but like that's pretty recent even for it coming out compared to a lot of these games we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I normally play something, play it until I hate it, or I have done everything that I have ever wanted to do with it, and then not touch it again.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it's fun. I like it.
If I had that, if I took that same approach as you, I might play some of the games that I've bought over the last 5 years. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. Probably not though. You'd still be Ryan.
Yeah, I'll still be Ryan. And space is still out there,
There's a lot of space to explore.
Yeah.
In many different games.
Yeah. Not enough if you ask me, but.
Well, no one did.
Yep.
Any closing thoughts from you two?
Sound off, let us know what games you go back to.
Yeah.
That's my closing thought.
Yeah.
You can let us know on our Discord, which will be linked. We also are on iTunes, Podomatic, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify. If you want to see our faces, we're on the YouTubes.
Sure.
And everything. The YouTube definitely is Save Continue Podcast. We also have an Instagram that is just Save Continue Pod, right?
Yeah.
No, it's Save Continue Podcast.
All right. Well then. Hey, I'm wrong.
You're all right.
Yeah, safe from charms.
Bye, guys.
What?
Bye.